Irvyne here for one final farewell episode of the year of retro gaming, or should I say the years of retro gaming, since I began this crazy caper back in November of 2010. My original idea was just to play through a handful of my collection and do a quick write-up on each one. Then I was hoping to get a kind of club going where a group of people from all over the world would play the games at the same time, kind of like a book club kind of thing. There weren't really any takers for that, so I ended up doing the video impressions and it all snowballed from there. 18 months, 67 episodes and 171 games later, I finally reached the end. I'm really looking forward to a rest. As fun as playing all the games was, this blog has pretty much owned my life for the past 18 months, and it's no exaggeration when I say that sometimes I spent more time making the videos than I did playing the actual games. But the first thing on my new agenda is a trip around the world, which will be happening soon, which I'm very excited about, so that'll give me a nice rest from all this gaming. It would have to be a draw between Blaster Master and ActRaiser. I really only knew Blaster Master from its terrible box art, and I had no idea it was actually a really cool Metroid-ish kind of game. That horrendous crab boss drove me away from it when I was just getting into it, but this is definitely a game I will be going back to in the future. ActRaiser was a game I was pretty sure I wasn't going to enjoy. Right at the beginning, I just didn't really get it. The concept just seemed a bit too far out with its two different styles of gameplay, but once I got into the groove, I really enjoyed it. It's a toss-up between The Addams Family and Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I really thought I was going to love them, but I just didn't. Addams Family in particular controls horribly, it's full of cheap deaths. Zombies isn't actually a bad game, but I just didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as I thought I would. Gee, I played a lot of good ones this year, played some not so good ones as well. I really can't go past Final Fantasy VI. It's just one of the best games Square has ever made. For number 2, I'd have to say Seiken Densetsu 3. Magnificent, beautiful game that should really have had a Western release by now. 3rd would have to be Chrono Trigger. Everyone knows it's great, that's why it's got such a good reputation. Fantastic characters and clever storytelling. My 4th favourite would be Secret of Mana, Seiken 2. Granted, it hasn't aged quite as well as the other 3 games I just mentioned, but it's still all kinds of wonderful. And 5th on my list of favourite RPGs this year is Terranigma, which I just played last week. There's nothing quite like it. It's got an epic and genuinely moving story. It's just great. There's other games that I could say are wonderful as well, but these would be my top 5. I did play a whole lot of Mega Man this year. My favourite was, and probably always will be, Mega Man 3. It just does everything right, and the series hadn't quite got to the slightly stale stage yet. My 2nd favourite's Mega Man 4 for similar reasons. 3rd favourite? Geez, I don't know. It'd be a toss-up between Mega Man 2, Mega Man 6 and Mega Man X. I'll go with X, just because it was a very confident new step for a new series. Home Alone 2. This game is horrible. It's like the bosses of THQ just said to the programmers, you've got 2 weeks to come up with something resembling a game so that we can slap Macaulay Culkin's face on the box and make $1 zillion bucks. Honourable mention would go to Altered Beast, which was fun for maybe about 10 seconds. I have amassed a huge collection of games that I can't wait to dive into. That's not to mention all the downloadable games like Bastion or Journey that I really want to play as well. The handheld ones will come in handy when I'm on my holiday, but when I get back, the first on my list to jump into is Xenoblade. I invested a good 25 hours into this when it came out back in August, but I eventually realised that I just couldn't justify the hours it was taking up, so it's been patiently sitting there half played for months. So that's it. I hereby call an end to the year of retro gaming, which ended up running 6 months longer than a year anyway. I've had a few people ask me if this is the absolute end. Well, it is for now. Making 68 of these videos has been a gargantuan task on top of a full-time job, and frankly I can't wait to have rest. Having said that though, I've had some people suggest games to me that I might have missed. DH098017 has been bugging me for ages to play Solid Jetman. Other suggestions I've had are Shining Force 2 from Pure Lunatic, Shinobi 3 from Wererook, the Game Boy Mega Man games from Metalhead Mark, and Tales of Fantasia from Skunk Train 42. I've also made a pretty sizable list myself of games that somehow didn't make it onto the original cut. So, here's a deal. When I get back from my holiday in June sometime, I might endeavour to play a couple more retro games and post more videos on the blog, if I feel like it. I wouldn't be holding myself to a schedule, I'd just be posting whenever I had the chance. Thank you so much for watching. The only thing that really kept me going throughout the year was watching that blog counter go up and hearing the feedback from different people as well. It was great. If I've convinced you to go back and play a retro game, my job is done. If I've taught you about a game you never knew about before, my job is done. If I brought back all kinds of wonderful nostalgic memories of the past, my job is done. One thing's for certain though, my job here is done. Peace out.